Member.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Tay, your comments are very riveting, very interesting, very important to give us an insight. You know, when I was there, Kim Jong-il was the leader, and I know that he was referred to as the dear leader, and his father was referred to as the great leader, Kim Il-sung. I'm wondering if Kim Jong-un has a similar title. You walked into every room, there were pictures of the two of them on the wall. It was something very, very scary and eerie. Is that still the case with Kim Jong-un?
Of course, and Kim Jong-un even further upgrading his propaganda campaign to make him as a god of North Korean people.
Thank you. So let me ask you, is there any scenario you envision in which North Korea might freeze or dismantle its long-range missile or nuclear weapons program? What would be the best means to persuade North Korea to do so?
I think first, Kim Jong-un still believes that he can achieve this goal. So we should continue to tell the North Korean leadership, and if possible with Kim Jong-un himself, that America will not accept North Korea as a nuclear-armed state. North Korea have seen how India and Pakistan achieved that goal, and they want to follow the suit of India and Pakistan. But we should clearly clarify that this will not be the case for North Korea.
From what you know about the internal dynamics of the North Korean political and economic systems, how might increased external pressure, such as unilateral and multilateral sanctions, lead the North Korean government to change course? Would it? If not, why not?
Oh, as I've said, that the current economic sanction so far is not enough, so we should increase more targeted sanctions. And the second, we have to see to witness the effectiveness of the current economic sanctions. North Korea is used to that kind of sanctions, and North Korea has a certain amount of stockpiles of war. So we have to wait until when North Korea opens its doors for war stockpiles. When North Korea starts to open its war stockpiles of food and oil, then we may see how long North Korea can sustain.
Thank you. You know, one of the things that shocked us when we first came into Pyongyang were these massive billboards, political propaganda ones. And one of them has, in fact, I don't know if Joe Wilson is here, he was with me, but he took a picture of one of those posters, and it was a North Korean soldier putting a bayonet in the head of an American soldier, and we knew it was an American soldier because his helmet said USA on it. It was very, very frightening, very scary, and we mentioned it, of course, to all the North Korean authorities. But one thing stuck in my mind. When we were talking about the nuclear program, one of the we never did meet with the dear leader, but we met with I think the next person whose name I think was also Kim, and we were told blankly, and it's the one thing I came home from. He said, Saddam Hussein didn't have nuclear weapons, and look how he wound up. Look where he wound up. And it really, really showed me a bit of the mindset about how they really think that the nuclear weapons are the key to being players. Otherwise, South Korea would run circles around them because of the prosperity and the economic opportunities and the dynamism of the Seoul regime. But they, even back then, this was probably about 12 years ago, talked about nuclear weapons as their key to success in the future. Is that still the mindset?
Yes, still Kim Jong-un regime believes that they can guarantee the system of North Korea by nuclear and ICBM, because they think that prosperous and democratic South Korea itself is threatening the existence of North Korea itself. That's why they think and believe that ICBM tipped with nuclear weapons is the guarantee for their survival.
Let me ask you one brief question. My final question is, have you observed any changes in North Korea in recent years that might suggest that an expanded United States information campaign targeting audiences inside North Korea might be more successful than past efforts? How would you go about changing the North Koreans' perception of the outside world?
When the South Korean cultural contents first arrived in North Korea through smuggling, North Korean authorities tried every measures to prevent it, even by conducting public executions and rampant arrest of the people who watch South Korean movies and dramas. But whatever measures they take, the demand for South Korean cultures increased. So North Korean regime learned that that kind of enforcement cannot solve the problem. That's why for the past few years, they are now developing their own strategy to prevent North Korean population to watch South Korean movies and dramas. How? They decided to open the archives of film archives of Kim Jong-il, and decided to filter those foreign films from former Soviet Union and former socialist Eastern European countries to find out the films which can meet the demand of enjoyment for North Korean people. So now if you are in Pyongyang streets, there are a lot of stalls where they sell those DVD discs with hundreds of Russian films, former East German films, Chinese films, and even these days, American cartoons like Tom and Jerry, Lion King, or Beauty and Beast, of these even cartoons for the children. So they learned that in order to fill the demand for outside cultural contents, they should do something. So that's why this proved that North Korean regime are very afraid of dissemination of informations. So I think if we continue to disseminate, and if we continue to make a tailor-made content for North Korea, then I think we can make a change in North Korea. Up until now, those cultural contents of South Korea which North Korean people are watching are the contents which are produced for South Korean audience, not for North Koreans. So they just watch it for their amusement and entertainment. But those cultural contents so far do not actually relate the North Korean citizens' way of thinking. Those cultural contents cannot make North Koreans critically analyze the life of North Korea. That's why we should make a tailor-made content which can educate North Korean population. And I think it's time we should invest to make that kind of very simple, tailor-made concepts which can tell the basic concepts of freedom, human rights, and democracy.
Thank you very much.
We go to Mr. Chris